The Heidi rework is live, and I couldn't be more excited. We're also going to give away a bunch of his intelligence skin stones. We're going to pick 5 winners. Leave a comment on this video with your account ID. Full sweepstakes rules are in the blog post in the description box down below.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central. We have a lot happening on Hero Wars Alliance today. The Solar Skin Sale for 2023 is now live. You can check that out in game if you would like. You need to purchase these skins during this 3-day window, or you're not going to have access to them again for a couple of months. If you're curious about the skin stat leveling priority or glyph leveling priority or what have you for Kayla, Aiden, or Heidi, especially now that he's been reworked, I got a blog post in the description box down below breaking down, in what order to level those stats, as well as the sweepstakes, the Skinstone sweepstakes post that I mentioned in the introduction. So I want to touch on this event real quick regarding the lack of the solar shop. Here we go. You can get Kayla soul stones in here, but you cannot get Aiden soul stones. Now, I find it curious, and I don't mind, I guess, but this rework is Heidi. Heidi is not in the shop as a skin plus, which is fine, I guess. Kayla skin plus looks absolutely gorgeous, by the way, absolutely gorgeous. I was hoping for a way to get Aiden soul stones from this event, and also Heidi soul stones from this event. Heidi's not an easy hero to get access to. You got to get them from the campaign, I think. Late in the campaign. I was hoping to see something a little different. We are going to talk about the best things to purchase in another video, but in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the reworked Heidi. Now, the reason that he was reworked, he was underused. Let me scroll down to his Heidi here. I'm gonna be leveling him up a little bit today. He was underused, right? And the Julius Judge Isaac lines were showing a lot of meta dominance, right? So some of his abilities are really good at countering heroes that do stuff with shields. You have Poison Mastery that talks to the opponent whenever they hit or are absorbed by a shield, does something like that. You have the Snake Charmer that does damage to the backline, and then Detrimental Effect replaces his Camouflage, which, say what you will about Camouflage. Was it helpful? I think sometimes yes. Was it, did it need to be replaced? I don't know. But the question then is, how good is this new Heidi? Well, I grabbed a couple of screenshots from members of the community. I want to start off with this one right here. This one was from Pio earlier today. You can see that the Judge, Julius Isaac, Nebula, Ginger lines seems to be pretty well defeated by Heidi, right? And with a variety of options here, using Dante. Dante was one of the heroes that was suggested to use with Heidi, with Cascade. Of course, Cascade is a new hero, and Nebula, and then a variety of tanks. Thanks to Pio and others for sharing these screenshots, by the way. You can see 8 and 2, 10 and 0, 3 and 7 right here. The Cleaver one didn't really do that well. And then this one right here, I'm not sure why he replayed this one, but it went 7 and 3. I don't know. I don't see any differences here. Maybe it's a different defensive team. It is a different defensive team. That's what it is. But still, it's not 100% win rate with this team in particular, but it's still pretty good. We have this screenshot from Tim from the Hero Wars Alliance The GOAT Facebook page, showing a ton of missed attacks with the Nebula, Astrid, and Lucas version of Wave Progress against what we think is one of the better defensive lines to use the new Heidi, using Ziri with the Talisman, Maya, Nebula, Heidi, and Amira. You can really see the effectiveness potentially of the 3 new talismans, given that, or some of the talismans, given that 3 of the heroes that have talismans are featured and completely maxed out. I'm really excited about the Ziri talisman, honestly. It is pretty obvious that this particular line doesn't have much of a chance against this. One thing that I did find a little interesting is another screenshot that Tim shared showing some of the Fafnir Artemis lines. This is just one line against that team that I mentioned previous, Ziri, Maya, Nebula, Heidi, and Amira. The Luther Cleaver version of Fafnir Artemis, at least, is struggling against this line. And if you take a look at a lot of the different communities, you're going to see a lot of the same things. So what we need to find out is a couple of things. First of all, obviously just slotting Heidi into the team isn't going to make the team just auto defeat Julius Judge Isaac. There's going to be some variants in there that you're going to need. You're going to need to level up some other specific heroes. You saw a lot of them had the hero Dante in there, certainly having Cascade in there. Is it the case that you can just slot in like Heidi Cascade into any line and all of a sudden beat, a shielding Way of Progress team? I don't think so. And will it become like, will this team or the other team, one of the other lines that I showed you, like this one right here or this one right here, will any of these lines become like the de facto popular meta lines to level up with Heidi, right? And then you got to ask yourself, is like, how many of these heroes do I have? A lot of you probably jumped on the Cascade train whenever he was released a little while ago. And most of you probably already have Nebula and a tank leveled up. So you're pretty close. I know a lot of you have built Dante for the ADA lines, but I think that we're in a spot right now where it's still very early. We need a lot more testing to find out what's happening here. One of the things that I really want to find out over the course of the next day or two is how can we use Judge Julius Isaac lines to defeat some of these Heidi lines. And we're going to work on that together, potentially in the live stream a little bit later today. And that live stream is at 12 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. UTC. Anytime they remake a hero like this, it usually is for good reason. And not only do I love the art aesthetic, but I also love things that are off meta or off popular. What I'm concerned about is, roughly every 9 months to a year or so, a hero is released or reworked in order to fix the meta. And I don't like balancing that way. But, if that's how it has to be done with a roster of heroes, this large, 60 plus heroes, then it really, it is what it is. The problem is, if everyone jumps on these Heidi teams and the Heidi Cascade, Dante, Nebula, Astaroth line becomes the best line. I don't know. I'm just saying. Then, in 9 months from now, there might be a rework that counters heroes that applies poisons, right? So just be mindful. Just be mindful of all of that. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to let me know in the comment section down below. Are you going to be leveling Heidi? What teams have you found success with him? What teams have you been coming up short with him? And absolutely leave your account ID so you can have a chance to win some of those free skin stones that you need so much of. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.